Namaste and good evening. It's me Chandrakant Pandit from Pokhara Metropolitan City, Ward number 32 of Kaski District, Gandaki Province of Nepal. Today I am going to raise an issue on education. And today I am going to give a speech on the failure of old education. It would be shocking if anyone says education has been derailed and has not been able to create harmony among global citizens, though we can see the number of schools, universities, students, and number of graduate students have been multiplied. Education has long been taken as the foundation of civilization, the tool through which humanity refines its knowledge, values, and aspirations. It should liberate individuals from ignorance, instill morality, cultivate innovation, and equip societies to face the complexities of modern life. 8. Despite the spirit of schools, universities, and digital learning platforms across the globe, the claim that the failure of old education sounds undeniably true. A critical examination disclosed that although education has achieved unbelievable progress in literacy, technological advancement, and development in every sector of human civilization, it has lacked deeper responsibilities, nurturing ethical citizens, reducing inequalities, and preparing future generations for sustainable just world and creating harmony among the people of the world. There are still big walls between haves and have not, educated and illiterate, black and white, creeds and language, arts and castles. The education of each nation should preserve their language, creed, culture, and tradition, create harmony among people inside and abroad. Nationalism as well as universalism. It has taught people to know the letters and numbers, but not their implementation in the real sense. Over the past centuries, access to education has increased exponentially. Global literacy rates have risen, enrollment in higher education has multiplied, and knowledge is more accessible than at any point in history. Though the world remains scared by violence, corruption, ecological degradation, and deep inequalities. If education were truly successful, humanity would not simultaneously be more informed and more divided, more technologically capable, and more morally fractured, and could create harmony among the people of the world. The global spirit of education has focused heavily on quantity, more schools, more universities, more degrees, more exam, while neglecting the essence of education, the cultivation of wisdom, empathy, humility, cultural awareness, responsibilities, and the feeling of brotherhood. Education should provide moral and spiritual growth in each individual, but it seems lacking everywhere. Education from Socratic dialogue in ancient Greece to the Gurukul system in South Asia, education seems as if it was a process of character building. But in today's world, education has been reduced largely to vocational training and has begun to produce workers for economic systems rather than citizens for societies with moral values. Hence, greed of fund replaces generosity, competition overshadows cooperation, and material success is prized above human dignity, and people value to the wealth rather than human traits. Without human traits, no nation can be a true nation in the real sense. The people without moral values, mostly educated elites, seem as if they are masterminding corruption, fueling wars, or exploiting natural resources for their profit. Education has produced clever minds, but lacking good hearts. It has given information to the learners, but not wisdom, specialization without holistic vision. The world suffers due to lack of intelligence and conscience in the so-called elite too. The global education system has not been able to fulfill its promise of equity. On the one hand, some children in developed countries enjoy cutting-edge laboratories, digital classroom, and individualized instruction. On the other hand, millions in underdeveloped countries lack even basic infrastructure, books, desks, or qualified teachers. UNESCO reports regularly show that millions of children are still out of school, disproportionately from the marginalized communities, conflict zones, and developing nations. Even within so-called developed and developing countries, systematic inequalities prevails in every corner. Students from poor, rural, or minority backgrounds face barriers to quality education and meaningful opportunities for their career. This inequity continues cycle of poverty, resentment, and instability. Instead of being the great equalizer, education has often created a mechanism for reinforcing privilege. Due to the education system, the world's brightest minds may never be discovered simply because they were born in the wrong place at the wrong time. Such a reality process, the profound failure of a global system that should guarantee equal opportunity for all for the betterment of the world too. Modern education has failed to produce apt human manpower that the modern factories and industry as well as institutions need. Hence, unemployment takes place and universities seem as if they produce worthless manpower. In the same way, on the one hand, students often graduate burdened with debt, uncertain futures, and disillusionment. On the other hand, employers lament the lack of critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability in job seekers. This structural weakness discloses that education has become reactive, adjusting slowly to the fast-paced demands of the modern economy. Despite preparing young people to think, innovate, and adapt, systems often train them to memorize, conform, and compete with each other. Thus, education has failed to empower learners with resilience in an unpredictable world. With the arrival of the digital age, education has entered a new paradox. On the one hand, technology offers unprecedented access to knowledge, virtual classroom, and global collaboration. On the other hand, it has accelerated superficial learning, certain attention spans, and encouraged dependence on machines rather than the cultivation of human intellect. Learners may know how to navigate the internet but often lack the patience to read deeply, analyze critically, or reflect ethically and solve the problems if seen in technology. Moreover, the rise of artificial intelligence and automation challenges to make many educational paths no longer in use. Entire professions may disappear, leaving behind the generation trained for jobs that no longer exist. Education systems have not been able to equip students with lifelong learning skills in adaptabilities and human-centered competency where qualities machines cannot replace them. Perhaps the most serious indicament of the world's education is its failure to address humanity's survival crisis. Environmental degradation, in spite of the decades of scientific research and global warming, consumerism, overexploitation of resources, and disregards for ecological balance continue uncontrolled. It seems if education has taught humanity how to exploit the earth but not how to preserve and care for it, learners may learn complex formulas in chemistry but remain ignorant of sustainable practice. They may study economics without confronting its environmental cost. Despite this failure, the collapse of the world education can be changed. To succeed, education must return to its fundamental mission, shaping human beings being knowledgeable, ethical, compassionate, and capable of stewardship. To achieve the goal, several shifts are necessary. Education must emphasize to its learner web integrity, empathy, and responsibility as much as technical knowledge. Moral education must be an integral part of curriculars. Bridging educational gaps between black and white, rich and poor, global, north and south, urban and rural is essential. Technology can help democratize access. Education must be able to provide creativity, problem solving, and adaptability to learners. Learners should be prepared for lifelong learning. Ecological awareness must be in the center of education. Future citizens must know that human flourishing depends on planetary well-being. Digital tools should work as a supplement but not as the replacement of human centered learning. Critical thinking, deep reading, and interpersonal communication must be in the priorities of learning. The assertion that failure of the world education is rational in every sector if we judge it seriously. Education has not been able to fulfill its promise and let the people live in harmony. If education has been successful, there won't be war between nations, castes and creeds, colors and others, and people of the world may not die due to starvation, health issue, and misunderstanding of each other. If humanity is to survive and flourish, education must be imagined as a race for credential, a journey of becoming, of cultivating individuals capable of knowledge, compassion, creativity, and responsibilities. Only then the education of the world succeed in fulfilling its highest purpose, the creation of just, peaceful, and sustainable civilization where smile sprouts, smile, and let the people of the world think they are only humans who can coordinate and cooperate with each other and live in harmony with mutual understanding. Thank you very much.